Appreciate you clicking on this video, my movie peeps. We've got movie news to discuss, so let's get into it. Some of the things we're going to be discussing here today, guys, is we got the director of the Minecraft movie saying he's really afraid of repeating the ugly Sonic situation. We got a live-action Danny Phantom movie in the works. Oh my god, please be true. And we have another update on Scream 7. They continue to get juicier. Really, that alone with so much more, so you guys know the drill. Leave your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's just go into the first story. And the first thing I want to discuss here today was an upcoming horror movie that's being worked by Jordan Peele's production company, Monkey Paw, which means this is also a Jordan Peele produced horror movie entitled GOAT, standing for Greatest of All Time. And although we had heard about this movie for a while, the thing that just made it pique my interest a little more is the addition that Marlon Wayans has been added to the movie. In the details we have it here, Marlon Wayans will star in the sports-themed psychological horror tale from Monkey Paw and Universal, and the site also notes that Justin Tipping will direct. Some details about the plot of the movie goes as the project, based on a pitch by Zach Akers and Skip Bronke, centers on a promising young athlete who is invited to train with a team's retiring star. Already, not exactly the plot you think of when you're going with a horror movie, but then again, there's not many sports horror movies I can think of. Is there any you can think of? I'm imagining Marlon Wayans is being cast as the retiring sports star that this younger, fresh person will be spending some time with, and I'm sure just some sinister things are going on, but I've always liked Marlon Wayans, going all the way back to his Scary Movie days or the Wayne Bros on TV. I used to like watching that as well, and lately it feels like he's only been popping up on like straight to Netflix movies. At least that's where I kind of been seeing him lately, and just for a person that used to bring me so much joy and laughter, I'm like, I want to see Marlon Wayans do some nice, great big things again. And even though this is nothing like his Scary Movie days, it's at least a scary movie. So yeah, tag me along, and I'm curious to see how this project plans out. Are you excited to see Marlon Wayans in a Jordan Peele produced horror movie called GOAT? Bah. Next up here, it is now finally official. The era is beginning where 3D animated movies are now being turned into live action films. We had heard that Disney is going to be doing it with Moana and bringing in The Rock to play Maui. And then DreamWorks announced that they'll be doing a similar thing with their film How to Train Your Dragon. And now that movie has started filming. Revealed here in a first look photo of day one of the movie beginning filming, we have the director of the movie, Dean Diblois, who is also the director behind the animated movie, which makes this even all that more interesting that the person who directed How to Train Your Dragon in animated form is now also going to be handling the live action version. We only have a handful of cast members also that have been recently attached to the movie. We do have Mason Thames, who will be playing Hiccup, Nico Parker, who will be playing Astrid. Gerard Butler is also going to be playing the same role he played in the animated movie, which is the father, and Nick Frost as Gobber. That's really the only casting that we have announced, and I'm curious to see how this turns out. I'm not against the idea of 3D animated movies being turned live action, but like I said, I feel like there's already too little of a jump from 2D animated movies that get the live action jump. 3D animated movies get almost as close as what you can before it's live action. How much more different can it be? Still, there definitely is potential for it to look amazing and beautiful, especially even like the dragons in live action, those action scenes, and the How to Train Your Dragon story arc that goes from movie to movie is really beautiful. So yeah, I'm down to see this. Just remember this day, because 10 years from now, every 3D animated movie is now in contention to get live action treatment. That's just wild. What do you guys think about the live action How to Train Your Dragon movie beginning filming? And well, speaking of live action adaptations, we had here a report land online saying that a live action Danny Phantom movie is reportedly in the works at Paramount. And guys, I'm jumping up and down over this. I loved Danny Phantom as a kid. What an awesome TV show, and what an even more badass theme song he had. He's a phantom. And well, if you're someone who was maybe too young or maybe too old to have checked out Danny Phantom, it was essentially the story of Spider-Man, but instead of getting spider powers, the kid was given ghost powers. Danny Phantom was just a regular teenager whose parents believed in the paranormal, spent all their lives trying to prove their existence. They built this portal. It granted Danny Phantom these powers where he could transform at any moment into Danny Phantom, where he has all the powers of a ghost, whether it's projectiles, going invisible, going through walls. He also has a great rogues gallery of interesting villains. There's even been some cool story arcs that happen throughout the TV show. Like, honestly, Danny Phantom is one of those characters that is easily made to be turned into live action form. So the minute I heard that this was a possibility and that Paramount was working on it, I was jumping up and down. I was excited. Of course, we'll have to wait to see if it actually comes to fruition, because I think even the creator of the show, Butch Hartman, mentioned in an interview years ago that they were going to make a live action movie, but for one reason or another, they just didn't fall through with it. So this wouldn't be the first time we've heard of a Danny Phantom movie almost getting the live action treatment. The other reason I'm excited about this is because whether this movie does or doesn't happen, Warner Brothers has been trying to make a Ben 10 live action movie, another cartoon show I grew up with that I would love to see get a better live action treatment. If they make Danny Phantom first and it's a big success like I know it will be, oh, Warner Brothers is gonna move hecka forward with a Ben 10 movie, but vice versa. If Ben 10 goes first and that movie is as successful as I think it will be, Danny Phantom will be next for Paramount. Let me know what you guys think about Danny Phantom possibly getting the live action treatment, and who would you want cast as Danny Phantom? And well, it looks like the theme of today's Side Flick is just talking about live action properties here, because one video game turned live action a lot of people are waiting for is the Minecraft movie. We had just gotten the update about a week or two ago that Jack Black will be part of the movie. Jason Momoa is also starring in it. It's directed by Jared Hess, who I think is going to do great because he made the masterpiece Nacho Libre. Well, he was recently doing an interview and he dropped a couple of details about the Minecraft movie I found interesting. For one, he was talking about the people he's excited to work with. He said, we've got Jason Momoa, we've got Jack Black, who else has been announced? And then the person next to him also said, there's a funny lady who has not been announced. So right then and there, I want you guys to start taking your guesses. All the funny actresses in Hollywood, picture them in your mind. One of them is cast in the live action Minecraft movie and we do not know it yet. My top pick, Maya Rudolph. I think she's hilarious. Or Kristen Wiig. Those are like the two people I think about being really funny. So one of them two, please. The director also revealed that Grant Major, who worked on the Lord of the Rings trilogy, is the production designer behind the Minecraft movie. And that should get you excited. I mean, the production design alone of the Lord of the Rings is very much talked about. Now seeing that they're going to do that with Minecraft movie, that seems like a recipe for success. But it was this statement that really got me kind of laughing. He said here, I think anybody that does any IP, they just want to avoid an ugly Sonic situation. The first trailer for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie angered fans because Sonic's computer animated teeth look too real. I just can't disappoint the 10-year-olds or they're going to murder us. That is so interesting that they have that in mind and that us here on the internet were alive for that historical cinematic event of the ugly Sonic design. I'm so glad I had a YouTube career when that was happening, because it was crazy to see a studio drop the trailer for a live action Sonic movie and the fans went crazy. So crazy that they actually got the studio to change the design. And you gotta imagine, with a live action Minecraft movie, they are turning those blocky weird characters into some realistic form, whether it's real human skin textures all cubed up with some hair, or maybe they do a Sonic thing where it's, yes, real textures, but in a cartoony way. Example, like giving Sonic big old eyes that are just not really physically possible, but it's much better than giving him human realistic teeth on the first design. It should kind of excite you and scare you that they're that concerned with the fan perception and that they want to please them, but they also know that they're taking the risk of making what is something that is kind of blockish and not supposed to be realistic looking and turning it realistic looking. How do you feel about the director of the Minecraft movie saying he really doesn't want this to be an ugly Sonic situation? Bringing us here to talk about some Scream 7. Oh, over the weekend, we got an interesting update, one I have been really waiting for. So as you guys know, Scream 7 has been mainly talked about for its behind-the-scene drama since they decided to drop star Melissa Barrera from the movie, and then Jenna Ortega followed suit, mainly due to the fact Spyglass didn't want to up her pay, and now it's left the fan base extremely divided. Of course, there's still a chunk of Scream fans out there going, I just want my Ghostface movie. I would love Sydney back. Give me something fresh and original, and I'll watch it. While there's a whole other half of the fan base rightfully angry and really upset, feeling like Spyglass has just tarnished the Scream name. One person we were all kind of waiting to hear what they thought of this situation was the original star herself, Neve Campbell. And well, last night during an event, she finally spoke out, and well, let me play you what she said.
It's sad to me that they're struggling at the moment. I would imagine that the people at the top are spinning a little bit, trying to make the right decision. I would imagine people want to do the right thing. I would hope. I love this franchise. I love it for Wes. I love it for all the people who've been involved in the past, and even the newer cast. I would hope it doesn't fall apart.
Is there any hope in the future that you would rejoin it, given like the right circumstances?
Given the right circumstances, yes. I made a statement several years ago, and it was the reason that I didn't do the film at the time, and I just really felt the need to stand up and say that I don't believe I would have been treated that way had I been a man carrying a franchise for 25 years, and that still stands, So if they were to choose to come back to me, that would continue to be my favorite.
Okay, that's a lot to take in there, and even some people I think are taking her words out of context, because you just saw what she said, her inflection, her tone, the way she meant it, and it's a different thing to read those exact same words in just a statement. So some of the things I'm taking from this is I do feel like she's sympathetic towards what happened. I mean, she literally says she hopes that the studio does the right thing, which to me kind of implies that she is on Melissa Barrera's side, that they did her wrong, and that they feel they need to do the right thing. Some people were afraid that Neve Campbell is for what the studio did and has no care whether they fired Melissa Barrera or not, but her saying they should do the right thing, I think implies they did wrong. But again, that's just what I'm taking from it. Then there's the other half of the statement where she does say she'd be willing to come back to the franchise, Scream 7 to be exact, under the right circumstances, and mainly if they paid her what she was asking for. That right there should also debunk a couple of things we've been hearing the past couple of weeks, because there's been some rumors floating around that she already rejected the offer to come back to Scream 7, that her and even Courtney Cox weren't going to return. But here it looks like she hasn't even discussed it with them, and they haven't made an offer or anything like that, that she's like, under the right circumstance, I might come back. And well, now we kind of know where Neve Campbell stands, and I respect what she says, and I don't think she said anything to get people to turn on her or fight. Like, it's become kind of toxic in the Scream fan base with some people, and I understand why. To me, it definitely does seem, though, like as long as Spyglass gives her a fair pay and values her for what she's done for the franchise all these years, she'll be back there. But I kind of don't think Spyglass is going to do that at all. Neve Campbell already didn't show up in Scream 6 because of it. And, fortunately, that became the highest grossing Scream movie of all time. It proved that the studio was right in not needing Neve back. As painful as that is to say as a fan. Now you have Jenna Ortega, who didn't get to come back because they didn't pay her what she wanted. What makes you think now they'll give Neve what she wants and give her that big payday? Spyglass and that studio are not going to be offering that money. If they do, I will be shocked. I really think if Scream 7 gets made, which it looks like the studio is still pushing forward, I'm of the camp that they maybe need to cancel this movie, but it looks like they're moving forward. I really think when that movie happens, it's going to be with an entirely new cast. No connection or anything whatsoever to everything in the past. There's just no way you could do that. Not without including the Carpenter sisters, not without paying Neve Campbell what she deserves. Like, there's just no way. And I just don't know how excited you would get the Scream fan base for a movie like that. So it's just a really weird time. And well, it's just nice to hear what Neve Campbell thinks. And I think her statement is very fair, very honest. No reason people should be getting upset. But we'll just see, man. Every Scream 7 update has not even been about being excited for this movie, looking forward to who might be the killer, what new thing are they going to do to reinvent the franchise. It's just been more behind the scenes drama and who we can point a finger and be mad at. And I just kind of hate that. I want to go back to being excited about this franchise. But I throw it off to you guys. How do you take Neve Campbell's comments? What do you see, the good, the bad, and what do you think is even going to happen with Scream 7? And well, that is all the movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.